And he decides to serve. All right, so please give it up for Andy
welcome back
Murray.
to the Wiener Stadthalle in Vienna for the tie-break 10s, and we are through to the semi-final stage. Andy Murray against Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, and these two have put on many memorable battles in the past, and they've played a couple of big tie-breaks, Annabelle. Going back to the first round in Australia, 2008, 7-6 in the fourth set, and a couple more big ones recently since then. Davis Cup last year at the Queen's Club, 3 sets to Murray, but a 12-10 second set tiebreak. And more recently, Wimbledon this year, that first set, a mammoth first set, 7-6, went Murray's way. You felt it was decisive in that match, a 12-10 win too. So they've played some big tiebreaks, but you always feel that Jo-Wilfried Tsonga are dangerous in a short format like this tiebreak 10s.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, enormous respect for each other out here today. But, of course, Murray has the head-to-head record 13-2. And as you mentioned, their last meeting in that quarterfinals of Wimbledon, you have to go back to 2014 for when Tsonga beat him in Canada. But as you say, in a tiebreak formula, just this sort of one tiebreak penalty shootout, quick-fire tennis. I mean, it really could go either way. But, I mean, both of them have shown some fairly decent form, but Murray, I have to say, has been in almost unplayable form recently, hasn't he?
The recent form has been phenomenal, and over the last sort of 6-7 months, probably the best player in the world, points-wise, by far and away. But this is all new, this is quick, this is tie-break 10s. What will these two produce for us?
Well, that's been corrected by the line judge himself.
For me, it's also on the line. For me, it's also on the line.
Confirmed by the umpire. I think Andy Murray agrees with that.
Well, it's interesting because they only have the one challenge, so they want to use it wisely. And Andy's wondering, I guess the very least he knows he can get a let and a first serve, which still leaves him as favourite.
That's just not what he wanted, having what he thought was got the first point under his belt. Now thrown across a double fault right there.
So, someone like Andy Murray, so much of his game is about wearing his opponents down. You don't get as long to do that in this format. It makes him possibly a little more vulnerable. On the other hand, he's also capable of breaking just about at will. Beautiful touch. How many times, how much, you know, they're playing for a nice pot today, but how much money has that shot earned him over time?
Oh my goodness, when his career is said and done, we will look back on this particular shot, the lob, one of the greatest we've ever seen. And that's what players do, isn't it, when they're up against Andy Murray? They snatch at balls and they think they have to do a little bit more with it. They go closer to the lines.
Well, the truth of it is you do have to do a little bit more with it, don't you? Because the speed is so phenomenal, and I think, having said that, Tsonga will still be disappointed at that miss. You just definitely feel getting through, getting closer, the tension which they've talked about has just ramped up another notch.
Making no mistake over that smash. Another great serve from Andy Murray, straight down the centre tee, gets the short reply, and no problems putting that one away. So racing to a 4-1 lead, having served the double fault for the opening point of this tiebreak. So I've got some work to do out here, Jo-Wilfried Tsonga.
Just giving himself a little bit more to do. 5-1, that's quite a deficit against Andy Murray, who looks determined. But to be fair, a little untested so far. As I said, the weaker of the two groups faced Marcus Willis and Eben Izurich, as opposed to Songo, who's faced Dominic Thiem and Tommy Haas. Well, it's been all business for Murray after a double fault to kick this tiebreak off, but since then, very impressive. Well, he's persisted with a casual mode on the volley, Songa, hasn't he? Just about crossed him early on. This was a beautiful approach shot back behind Murray, and he still made Songa work for it. Dipping and low, had to be precise.
Yeah, as you said earlier, Miles, it's a surface that if you don't quite get, behind the ball, you don't get hold of it on the strings, it sort of seems to just fizzle out, doesn't it?
Left. Second service.
That is sensational. That is vintage Andy Murray, isn't it? How many times have we seen him do that over the course of his career as well?
Yeah, it's been clear that Songa's tactics have been get forward and attack Murray, but just, that's the question he poses of his opponents, to make those decisions all the time. Songa may be just a little too deep in the court.
I'm not happy with that backhand in the net.
No, he won't be. I mean, it drives him nuts giving away the free points. Something that's been a mark of his career, and particularly of his success recently. We've talked so much about how he makes his opponent earn each and every point. Cheap one there for Songa.
Well, when you look at the year that he's had, I mean, it's just been a phenomenal run, hasn't it? Particularly starting in Rome, where he beat world number one Novak Djokovic, and then, of course, reached his first French Open final, losing out to Djokovic there. Then went on an absolute steam, didn't he? Winning in Queens, then his second Wimbledon title, went to the Olympics, won there for the second time as well. Just had a phenomenal second half to the year. And still looks to be improving in every department. He's varied his second serve more. He's been able to free up the first. Oh, curse of the commentators.
If we get a nasty look up here, Animal, that's all yours. But went for an aggressive one. 116 km/h mark, and that's Steve Kutzer, also known as Speedo, along with Matt Little, responsible for Andy's physical well-being and fitness, and boy, what a job those two have done, built on top of the work that Jez Green did with him. One of the finest athletes in the world. It was an awkward return down low, and he's hit this court just very sticky, an abrasive surface of the ball, almost if you can imagine a ball landing on Velcro. It's not going forward, and if the feet aren't up there, very easy to be left sort of reaching for it. Murray, who had built a nice lead, has now just probably a touch concerned. And then I think, Song has a great forehand, although he's missed a few to Jamie Delgado, who's been at the helm for so much of his success recently. Song he does miss more on the back, but I think a lot of it's for me shot selection. I mean, that wasn't really the right shot, was it?
No, going for too much there and losing control on the racket face. And had his opportunities there to level the scoreline.
Yeah, back in from a deficit to 7-6 down, and I just don't see the backhand line as a value shot there.
And now he's thrown in the double fault as well, and that hands across a match point to Andy Murray to make his second tiebreak tens final. Because of course he finished runner-up last year to Kyle Edmund, losing out 10-7 in that tiebreak. But here's another opportunity. Oh, a good move from Joe Wilfried Tsonga. Didn't really hit the cleanest of forehands. It sort of wrapped round the strings a little bit, that one. But then the attack to the net, putting the pressure on Andy Murray to come up with the goods. And not able to do so on that occasion.
Well, he's such a great athlete, Tsonga. I've talked about Murray, but Tsonga too. So explosive and very capable around the net. The pressure he can put on just by being there, evident with that miss.
And that gets the job done. So Andy Murray is into his second tiebreak tens final. And he'll await the winner of the next matchup between Goran Ivanisevic and Dominic Thiem. So big smiles at the net. I'm sure Joe Wilfried Tsonga feels he gave it his all out there. He certainly posed a few questions, but Andy Murray never in doubt.
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, maybe the level of tennis in that match wasn't so good. Both of us made quite a lot of mistakes, so maybe need to play better in the final.
Thank you. Thank you, Andy.
Thanks.
So as you heard, they're not happy with his performance, but he's into the final. We're into a break.
Dominik, in Kürze geht's los hier mit deinem Semifinale gegen Goran Ivanisevic. Kannst du dich eigentlich noch erinnern, als er gespielt hat?
Sicher, wie er Wimbledon gewonnen hat 2001, glaube ich, war einer der dramatischsten und auch schönsten Momente im Sport überhaupt. Also ich bin natürlich auch vor dem Fernseher gesessen und habe mit ihm mitgefiebert und auf jeden Fall ein absoluter Ausnahmespieler und schaut noch richtig fit aus, obwohl er noch nicht so alt ist.
Goran, Dominic was just saying that he remembers your special victory in Wimbledon 2001 and that you still look very fit. So what's so special and what was special and still is today about Goran's game?
Well, obviously his serve. I mean, it's so accurate and fast still. I'm a little bit scared of it.
Okay, Dominic's a little scared of it. Goran, come to us. Well, what can you say to Dominic?
I think he's, in my opinion, he can be future #1. Definitely Grand Slam champion. Amazing tennis player, great guy. And, I don't know, it's going to be fun. I have nothing to lose. So my body hurts badly. And I need to play 2 more matches. But let's have fun.
Well, all right. So, guys, come up here. All right, we got a few more seconds to go. So we got some seconds to warm up, to stretch.
racket, logo.
Racket.
You won.
He serves.
All right, so he serves.
Well, welcome
Great
back to
hand
the
to Goran
second
Ivanisevic.
semi-final of this tiebreak 10s event. And I wouldn't have thought we'd heard that too often. Goran winning the toss and electing to receive. But we've just been hearing the break. They did a short interview and he was singing the praises of Dominic Thiem, saying he thought he could be a future world #1, a future Grand Slam winner. And just for a bit of fun, actually rubbed it in that he was a great guy as well. And I think part of it was just to put a little bit of extra pressure on him. He still fancies a check for $250,000. But I think it's an interesting match because Goran's, he's getting a little older now, but he's been he's stayed in touch with tennis. He plays a little on the Champions Tour. He's hits a lot with his players on the tour now, coaching Thomas Burdick. And I just think with this game style, his game style and Thiem's game style, will get a chance to get into some of these points if he can serve effectively and get a first hit in.
No, I think you're right. I think the only problem for him is he says his body is hurting, and he said it's hurting a lot right now. And I think that the court hasn't really helped him out here tonight. It's just too slow for that serve to really, really get motoring. Although he has had some free points, but I just have a feeling that Dominic Thiem is going to try and make him run a lot in this match. So it's Dominic Thiem, the world #10, up against the former world #2 in Goran Ivanisevic, the oldest man in this event of tiebreak 10s. And awaiting the winner of this match then, Andy Murray.
On the toss and choose to receive.
So it's
Out
Dominic
loud,
Thiem to
Dominic.
serve.
Play.
On to that quickly enough. Goran.
1-0.
He knew something we didn't know when he chose to receive. But we've seen a number of mistimed forehands. Of course, we have to remember it's a very short warm-up and in and out format of this tiebreak 10s.
Beide 1 out.
Proud parents there of Dominic Thiem.
2-1, Ivanisevic.
That serve still good, any surface, any generation, any situation, particularly this.
Yeah, that's a clever point from Dominic Thiem, isn't it? Opening up the angles and really going from corner to corner and making Goran run as much as he can. 45 years of age, of course, giving away quite a few years here to Dominic Thiem.
Für mich auch.
Yeah, nicely done. Good speed up to the ball. This shot from Goran, if he was going to pull it off, he needed to play just perfectly, giving it way too much air and comfortable in the end. It's changed a little over the years, hasn't it? That backhand. I think the serve looks very similar. The forehand does, with the backhand just a little bit more abbreviated. And you can see that as Andy Murray did, I'm sure Dominic Thiem would have picked that up. Just trying to give it a bit of height and make him create his own spaces. We get another look at Günther Bresnik, long-term coach of Dominic Thiem.
Well, it's leaking errors all over the place, that backhand. We've seen a couple into the bottom of the net. That one losing control off the strings, leaving the strings pretty quickly. So Dominic Thiem firmly in the driving seat in this semi-final, the second semi-final. And there's that big kicker you talked about earlier this evening. He's used that very effectively on this rather slow, deliberate court that they're playing these tie breaks on. Wow, and really flattened out that one.
You want a challenge for me? It's good. Challenge?
He may as well go for it. I think he's going to challenge it.
Mr. Ivanisevic is challenging
Well, I think he figures he's pretty well down in this tie break. Might as well go for the challenge, try and halt the momentum here.
For me, Zador.
And in or out, that was a big serve from Dominic Thiem, the biggest we've seen tonight.
Call stand.
Trip to the opticians, I think.
I think he wasn't too convinced himself, to be fair. And that's not going to help matters. Feeling the need to pressurize with that second serve. You're always going to have to cough up a few double faults, but that was costly. Beautifully played. You've seen the penalty for not getting your feet up to that. A couple of guys missing their short forehands, but this really flowed through that ball nicely. There are glimpses of the old Goran every now and again.